Okay, so we are in the working on creating an ikfk switch for the arms. So let's go ahead and get started. So with the arms, we're going to be go ahead and create a couple of duplicates of the arm joints. So I'm going to grab the shoulder joints for the left and right, and hit Control D and move it back. Hit Control D, move it back again. Okay. So we have three complete sets of arms. All right. So for the second and third sets, I want to grab that null joint and just go ahead and delete it. Okay. So now we just have extra shoulder, elbow, wrist joints for both sides. All right. And then to make it a little bit simpler for me, looking at the outliner, because we're going to have like a lot of just, just extra joints. I'm going to go ahead and grab the shoulder, elbow, and wrist joint for this first set. And I'm going to go under modify, search and replace. And I'm going to do search for left, replace with left skinning. Apply. Same thing here. Search for right, replace with right skinning. That way it's going to make it a lot easier for me to understand, like as I'm doing this, which joints I need to actually select for skinning or which ones I'm going to be connecting to. So we're going to go and do that. For these extra joints back here, I'm going to search for left, and then I'm going to do left IK, Y, and then the back is going to be left FK, and that's going to be shoulder, elbow, wrist. Right IK, left is going to be, or right, the right is going to be the right. Right, FK. Okay, so the back set are going to be FK. Middle set are going to be IK, and the front set will be skinning. Okay, so let's double check our work here. Okay, so we should have under the right clav joint, we should have a right skinning shoulder joint. Uh, and then if we condense that, we should have a right IK shoulder joint, and then right FK shoulder joint. Okay, same thing. If we go under the left clav, we should have a left skinning, left IK, left FK. Okay, so we just need full system for each, and all of these should be called IK or FKs. So this one's FK, 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 IK, 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 skinning, skinning, skinning. Okay, you have to name them all the way down. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to do orient constraints. So I'm going to grab the back set, middle set, front set. So shoulder, shoulder, shoulder. I'm going to go to constrain, orient, maintain offset, add. Again, grab in the same order, back, middle, front. Hit G to redo the last used tool. Back, middle, front. The reason why is when we do our set driven keys, it's going to make it a lot easier for us to remember which one's which. Okay. And so what we're doing is by adding these constraints and selecting 3 versus 2 items, we're actually putting 2 parents on a we're actually doing a 2 parents versus 1 parent. So if you look at parent constraint that's attached, for this orient constraint, it has 2 parents here, FK and IK. And by selecting these in specific order, it's all going to be always FK first, IK second, which will make it easier for us. And so if we look and move this, you'll see that both the back set and the middle set of joints will move their child joint, okay? But it moves it at half. Doesn't move it as 1-to-1, so it actually splits the difference, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and I'm gonna take these joints. I'm gonna move them back over on top of that original set of joints. So I'm just gonna hold down V as in Victor and snap them back on, okay? All right, let's go and get up our Rig 101 wire controllers. And I'm gonna let's do a circle. Okay. Skin layer, see if it's floating. We'll put a small if we wanted. Something that should be fine. Okay. Shoulder con. And then let's go and do a arc. And I'm going to go and take that arm control that I just made, do an enable override, and let's give it a different color. So that's kind of going to be kind of visible. Then the shoulder. Yeah, okay. I'm just kind of looking at the surrounding controllers here and see what might be a little bit easier to look at. Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna snap this one over, snap that one over. Okay, so that's gonna be my arm controls. So I'm gonna name this one left shoulder. Let's change that to elbow. This one's gonna be, notice we have these transformations on here, so we're gonna have to freeze transformations in a second. Wrist. Okay, so I'm gonna grab all these controllers, including the clavicle, and I'm gonna go to modify, freeze transformations, and then go to edit, delete by type history, not all by type, just delete by type. Okay. Now, one thing we're probably gonna have to do is we're probably gonna do what's referred to as an offset group. Okay. Offset groups are groups that I use for joints or controllers that need to be just a little bit rotated. And so you'll see this one doesn't quite line up with the direction um, of the elbow or the wrist. So it could just stand and be just rotate just a hair. But the problem is that if I rotate it just a hair, then we have a transformation on here. And then I have to go back and do a freeze, which then just resets the orientation of that controller, which, like, what's the point of me rotating it then? I need it to be able to rotate down the axes of that arm. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna group these controllers to themselves. So I'm gonna grab the shoulder controller and group it to itself. Okay. So for a second. So I have these three groups. Okay. So this one is the elbow, so I'm gonna rename it left elbow offset group. And these are going to be groups that I can rotate to kind of offset any changes to the controller that I need to. So this is going to be left wrist offset group, and then right wrist offset group. Okay. Oh, nope. Left shoulder. Okay. And then clavicle controller, group it to itself. Left clav offset. Although to be honest, it doesn't necessarily need one, but I'm putting it in there just to kind of illustrate the point a little bit more. All right, so I'm going to grab each one of these groups, tell them to center pivots. And then I'm going to go in and just kind of adjust these just a little bit as needed. So I'm going to grab the shoulder offset group. And so you see how there's just a little bit offset from the direction of the shoulder, just a hair. So I'm just going to rotate it a little bit, just like that. Let's grab the elbow. Just like that. Wrist. Okay, so let's look at it from the side. See if that changes anything. It's pretty good. Looks like that lines up. This is going to be much more noticeable or needed if you had a character with like his arms coming down at an angle. 100% will need it more for that. This one can almost get away with not having them just because of the arms are so T-posed. But I do need them a little bit. So we're going to put them there. Okay. So now we're just going to go ahead and go ahead and start nesting each one of these properly. And so it's going to be a little bit of like an Oreo sandwich. So I'm going to take, let's say, the left wrist offset con. That's going to go directly under the left elbow con. Okay, so you're going to see it stair steps directly down. Left elbow goes under left shoulder con. And then left shoulder offset group goes directly under left clav con. Okay. Now, if we do this right, we click on the controllers, we should have clean transformations. And if I move the left clav con, we should move shoulder. If I grab the shoulder con, should move the other two controllers underneath it. Same thing for elbow. And then wrist is just going to kind of hang out by itself. Okay. All right. So I'll group this to itself. Duplicate. Go up under edit. Duplicate special. And then everything that has a left on it, we're going to do a search and replace. Let it say search and replace. Search for left, replace with right. So I'm going to do left, right, FK. Yeah. So right here. Make sure I put FK controller in here as well. So modify, search and replace, search for left, replace with left, FK. Okay, cool. All right, so both sets of these. So I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to, actually, I'm going to take the right FK, put it under that first group. I'm going to name this FK arm on root. Hang on. What a duplicate of this. If you have duplicate, it's accidentally. Okay, just get rid of that. Okay, yeah. Get rid of that extra group. Okay, so we should be good. Everything still is clean. We're looking at the controller transformations, so it should be clean. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and create a couple new controllers. I'm going to do a prism. Let's do a sphere. And I'm going to put that over on the wrist control or wrist joint. Shrink that down. Right about there. Left IK wrist on. And then we're also going to do a as well. And this is going to be our IKFK switch. We're going to switch between for the two systems. So let's go and do a modify freeze transformations. Again, left IKFK switch. Let's do a add attribute. Long name IKFK switch. This one is going to have a minimum maximum, so it's going to be a minimum 0, maximum 1. Click add. We should have a IKFK switch. I'm just going to grab all of these right here, these attributes, lock and hide. We don't need to see anything but that controller. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and grab, let's take both of these controllers, group them to themselves. Let's do them duplicate special. Modify, search for place left and right, selected. Okay. Let's go ahead and freeze transformations again. All right, so I accept, yeah, so that one's got messed up a little bit, so I need to take okay, so this group, okay. Freeze transformations. All right, so I have that actually locked, so I'm gonna go back in. I need to unlock that. That's gonna be channel control. Unkeyable hidden. So it's gonna be rotation, scale, slate. Cable, non-cable. I'm just looking under non-cable hidden, looking for translate rotate. All right, wrong one. Channel control, that's why I'm not seeing it. Okay. So rotate XYZ, scale XYZ, translate XYZ. Let's try this again. Switch. Oh, unlock selected. There we go. All right, so should be able to okay. Should be okay now. Up here for a second. We'll probably move them at some point. Okay. Why did we move this guy again? Acting weird, man. Oh, yeah. So apparently me just blocking and hiding apparently caused that flip. So let's just fix that. Yeah, so it's a 180-degree flip hidden in there somewhere. So it's kind of what I figured. All right, freeze transformations again. Uh, freeze transformations again. We got to make sure this is all clean. Okay, 100%. Just got to make sure it's all clean. All right. I'm gonna wait and hide this until I know I'm done. Okay, so let's do elbow control real quick. So we'll just grab triangle. Doesn't matter honestly what it is. I'm gonna do duplicate. Okay, duplicate. Up, back, rotate. Down, up. All right. And we'll modify freeze transformations. Elbow con. Left. IK. Elbow con. Right. IK. Elbow con. Okay. That's important. Okay, so we're just kind of setting up all these controllers really, just to get everything to work. And then we can start setting up our connections. All right. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So let's go ahead and grab clavicle control and let's find. Yep. All right. So I'm just going to go through. We're going to do constrain, orient constraint. Again, maintain offset turned on. So that's going to be there. So it's going to be controller, left clav joint, apply. Controller. Then we're going to go down to left FK. Oh, wrong. I messed up already. Okay. So clav controller, clav joint, apply. There we go. So shoulder controller, FK shoulder controller. That's going to be left FK shoulder joint, apply. Left FK elbow controller, left FK elbow joint, apply. Left FK wrist joint, left FK wrist joint, apply. Okay, so make sure we got that. So if we test this, should be able to lift the arm. Good. And then when I do this, it is going to split. That's fine. That's okay. Don't freak out. Don't freak out. Okay. It's supposed to happen like this. So again, let's try it again. So right clav joint, apply. Right FK, right FK shoulder, apply. Right FK elbow, right FK elbow, apply. And then right FK wrist, right FK wrist, apply. Okay, let's test. Good. Boom, boom, boom. Grab these. It's got a split. That's okay. Don't freak out. All right, cool. Let's save it real quick. All right, next step is we're going to go under the skin, not skin, skeleton, IK handle tool, and it's going to be a rotate plane solver. Same thing as the knee. This one's going to rotate the elbow, okay? So we're going to go over to our, let's see, right IK shoulder, and then control click right IK wrist. We got an effector pop up there, okay? I'll do this again. So it's going to be left IK shoulder, right or left IK wrist. Okay. We're gonna have two IK handles now. IK handle one, IK handle two. Right arm or right wrist IK handle. Left wrist IK handle. So right and a left, all right? All right, this left IK wrist controller is going to have a point constraint. Maintain the offset turned on to left wrist IK handle. Apply. Grab the other one. Right IK wrist controller. Right IK wrist IK. Right wrist IK handle. Okay, so grab both of those. Click apply. All right. So now if we grab the controllers, should move around. Okay, good. Now we need to be able to rotate that wrist. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to grab the wrist controller, left wrist controller, IK wrist controller, and then we're going to go to left IK. left IK wrist joint and click apply. Okay, what happened here? I clicked something wrong. Dang. Oh, I had the wrong constraint, so it has to be a. I was accidentally putting a point, but it has to be a orient constraint. So that's what I need. Okay, so it should work just fine. So let's grab that, test that. Looks good. Let's try that again. So I'm going to grab the right IK wrist controller, and then I'm going to look for the right IK wrist joint. Go to the strain, orient. Okay. Okay. So it kind of lifts and all that. All right. So we should be able to move and rotate. All right. That's what I'm looking for. Go ahead and save it. Okay. So what I need is these controllers here to stick with um, the hands. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and do left FK switch, group it to itself, left IK FK switch group, and then group this one to itself, right IK FK switch group, and then the pivot point, I'm gonna put that the pivot point, move that over there. Same thing for this one. D, come on, D, move it over there. There we go. Okay. So then what's going to happen is I'm going to grab the null joint. Actually, let's move that to the point to the null joint right here, not the wrist. So let's make sure we got that right. So right here in the middle. Okay. So I'm going to take that null joint, that null hand joint right here, and I'm going to grab the left IKFK switch group, and then notice I'm grabbing joint first, group second. Go to constraint parent. And so what's going to happen is now when I move that wrist around, you notice the controller sticks with it. So that's what I want. Okay. So we'll grab null joint first, right IKFK switch group next, constrain parent. That's that. There we go. Okay. I not do a, ooh, okay. You may have this happen. Take a look at this. So it looks like I have a bit of an issue. I have two parents accidentally. No, I don't. Let's see what we got. We got a bit of an issue going on here. Okay, let's find out. So that's happening the way it should. The way it should too. Okay. Yeah, I have a bit of an issue right there. Okay, so I want to redo that orient constraint. So that's the wrong, that's the elbow instead of the wrist, which is what this one is called, right? Wrist joint. Yep. Okay, so yeah, I gotta make sure everything is right. Yeah. So let's fix that real quick. Okay, this one. It's gonna be an easy fix. It's not hard. I just have to go to the right skinning wrist joint. This orient constraint right here. I'm gonna go ahead and delete that. And then what I'm gonna go and do is grab the right IK. Let's see. Let's check and make sure. I think it should be skin, wrist, elbow, FK, IK. So I need to write FK first, IK second. FK, IK, wrist, strain, orient. Let's make sure that actually looks right. Okay, I think we're good. Excellent. All right, yeah, so that was a bit of a mix-up. Now it's moving much better. Okay, cool. Yeah, if it flips out like that, check the parent constraints or the constraint you have on that joint. It probably has like the wrong parentage or maybe too many parents. Um, too much information coming in and it doesn't know what to do, so it flips out like that. All right, go ahead and set. Another good reason to test constantly. All right. Let's go ahead and set the IK handle. So what I'm gonna do is go and grab, go back over to skin. No, we already have it. We already have IK handle, sorry. I guess we gotta do the switch now. Yeah. Okay. So let's go and go under animation, key, set driven key, set. And the driver is going to be the little switch right here. So that's going to be load driver. So that's just one thing to set. And then what we're actually going to be setting is going to be the orient constraints. So if we go back under left skinning, right here, left skinning, elbow, wrist. So we're going to grab skinning, elbow, wrist. Those orient constraints right there. Those are going to be the drivens. You're going to notice that we'll have FKIK, FKIK, FKIK for the parents on each one of these constraints. Okay. So this is how we're going to set it up. The controller is going to be set to either value of 0 or 1. 0 was going to be fully FK engaged, and then value of 1 is going to be fully IK engaged. Okay, so 0 to 1, and that's going to be set on each one of these constraints. And so if we take a look at, say, this orient constraint, the parentage here is set 1 and 1. And that means that both FK and IK parents are controlling that joint. So we'll need to just basically turn one on and turn the other one off. So if we're going to do, say, 0 is FK, that means I need to go ahead and set this parent right here, IK, to 0. So FK set to 1, IK set to 0. And then I'm going to go over to the other one, set that to 0. So go to the third one, set this to 0. Okay. So I'm going to click both of these, make sure this one is clicked, and click key. We'll see it turn blue. Grab this key, blue. We're switching the constraint every time I do this, so it is actually updating. I think it's a little bit easier than like the connection editor, at least visibly for me, it's a little bit more understandable, but it's kind of the same idea. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to go back to that controller, switch this value to 1, and now we're going to just reverse the values. So what was 1 is now going to be 0, and what was 0 is now going to be 1. Click key, go to the next one, reverse the value, set to 1, key. So set value to 0, set the 0 to 1, and hit key. So we gotta make sure we have something to actually key for it to work, okay? All right, so let's check it. So what we can do in order to check it, I'm just gonna take let's take this controller. I'm gonna move this controller up. You see it moves the arm completely. There's no splitting. And then if I go switch, it drops back down. So it switches back and forth. Cool. I think it's cool. All right. All right. Let's go ahead and change this up. So I'm going to go back over here, load driver. That's going to be the right ikfk switch. And then we're going to go ahead and go over to right skinning, skinning, skinning. Those are going to be the drivens. And then value of 0, we're just going to do FK. Change that. Do that at 0. And then we're going to go to here, change that to 0. Click both of these and hit key. And then we'll do the same thing again. We're just keying this. We're just telling it at this point at value of 0, I want FK engage. At value of 1, I want IK engage, and that's all we're doing. Okay. So each one of these should have a key next to it. All right, so let's go ahead, go back over to that controller, change it over to value of 1, and we're just going to switch the values again. Okay, that's all. That's all we're doing. So value of 0, 1. Grab both of these, hit key, switch the values, 0, 1, and then here, 0. Okay, so let's test it. All right. So let's see, this one working. Okay, let's go. Okay. Now, in addition to controlling which system is functioning, it's also going to control visibility. So we need to also go ahead and grab, let's say, the controllers. So this one's going to be the driver. So left is going to be driver. And I'm just going to grab the shoulder, elbow, wrist, FK control, the wrist IK control, and the IK elbow control. And that's going to be driven. Okay. What's going to be driven is visibility for all of these. So as of right now, with this set to 0, FK should only be visible. IK controls need to be invisible. So I'm going to go and grab IK, and turn those off. Switch off, grab all of these, click on visibility, click IK switch, click key. And then when I go back to IK switch, turn that back on. Then we're going to go back to IK, go back to visibility, turn that back on. Then also, I'm going to go to FK. FK controls right here, and turn visibility off. Grab all these again, click visibility, click key. So now what's going to happen is switches back and forth. And hopefully it should be whoever's actually in control. Yes, awesome. If you have your IK system turned on, but the IK controls are turned off where you can't see them, it's not very functional at that point. Vice versa, if you have the FK system on, but their controls are turned off, that's not very easy to work with either. So this cleans up the controls a little bit so that we don't have too many kind of sitting on top of each other. And we have redundant systems kind of running. Okay. So again, let's go ahead and grab all of these controllers. That's going to be load driven. All of this is going to be visibility. Okay. And then let's go ahead and go to, let's see, who is it? Switch back to 0. And then FK visibility is going to be good. IK visibility turn off. Now grab all of these, click visibility, click key. All right, grab all these again, turn it back on, and then we will actually switch that back over to 1. FK, I'm going to turn the visibility off. The visibility, click that, click key, and it should be on. So let's test that. Okay, something's broken here, it didn't work. All right, so IKFK switch is on. So IK visibility is on. IKFK do have, okay, they're keyed. So let's switch this back to 0. IK should be turned off. Just go and key that. And then FK should be turned on. Rekey that. Let's try that. Oh, I did something dumb. I didn't reload my new controller. Okay, let's fix this. Let's just turn these all back on. If you run into this problem, here's how you fix it. Okay, I need to break this connection. So where it's blue, right click, break connection. Boom, done. All right, I'm gonna click on this one, load driver, make sure it says the right one right there. Okay, now let's try this again. So this is going to be FK, switch this back to 0. FK visibility is on. Right K, right IK visibility is off. E. All right. Switch that value. Okay, visibility. Off. IK visibility on. Now let's test that, see if that works. Yeah, that works. Okay, we're good. Cool. And just to make sure, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to click this and make sure it doesn't accidentally hide something, or yeah. I want to make sure it doesn't mess it up on the other side. So that I was making that mistake. Okay. All right, I can go ahead and block and hide this. All right. Let's double check, make sure that still works. Yep, sure it still works. Testing, testing, testing. All right, so I need to do a pull vector constraint. Let's go and turn back on our arms or IK systems. So I'm going to grab controller, IK handle, constrain. Um, Pull vector. There we go. And then controller, IK handle, constrain, pull vector. We'll just test that. Yep, I see it wiggling. Good, awesome. There we go. Okay, so now we need to go ahead and do the finger controls. Okay. I'm gonna grab a little circle. All right, so I'm gonna rotate it up, scoot down. All right, I want to make sure it's not too small on the finger. All right, that'll work. Let's do modify freeze transformations. Finger one, or maybe left index finger on one. Push that a little bit. Left middle. Finger con two. Finger con one. There. Left pinky. Finger con. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and group these to themselves because we're going to be creating some offset groups. Um, Modify center pivots. You make sure all of these are, yeah, you make sure they're all frozen transformation. So there we go. All right, so I'm going to do left index, finger, con, offset group, left pinky, offset group, left middle finger, offset group. Okay. Then we need to do one for this thumb too. One of my goals for these finger controls is that we'll have one axis that can close the fingers entirely, including the thumb. So I'm gonna take this left index, duplicate it. Where's that center pivot? And snap it over here. Up it, rotate it. And so the axis for rotating, like closing the finger controls, is going to be the Z axis. So that's what I want to keep all of these. And so I'm just going to make sure I can align all of it to where that when I close the thumb, the fingers, it's all it's all one axis. It makes it a little bit easier for me. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna take that index and I'll rotate it to kind of fit the direction of the thumb. So bring it out like that. That one. Goes like that. And then D, and then that. Okay, so something like that. Okay. Shrink that in a little bit too. All right, cool. That's going to be offset group 3. Um, okay, so thumb, thumb, thumb. All right, so three thumb controls. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna grab this offset group here, not the controller, but the offset group. Actually, let's make sure we got all of these center pivoted. Yeah. Snap it here, duplicate again, snap it up to there. Grab that one, snap it up to there. Snap that one up to there. Pinky offset. Snap that there. Snap that one up to there. And then we'll take the little offset groups and we'll rotate them to match the angle of the fingers. Something like that. We can also kind of like shrink that in a little bit too, because finger is going to be a little bit smaller. Okay, we'll grab our next pinky offset group, rotate that one over just a bit, shrink that in too. That one over, that in just a little bit as well. Make sure you don't grab the cons. It's going to have to be the offset group. Sorry. Same thing for this one. Match that to the angle of the joint. Like that. Screw it right here. Gonna pick that one just a little bit. Should be good. These offset groups are kind of stuck in the geometry, so I'm just gonna kind of grab those offset groups and just like scale them up a little bit just so they're more visible. All right. Okay, cool. So what we want to do is go ahead and let's kind of start dropping these underneath their individual parents. So that should be, make sure we got that. Yep. Okay. So the tip pinky con is going to go under the middle one. So let's do pinky con 1, 2, or 3 and 2. And then right here. Then I'll take that, drop that under. Open that up. Okay, so we should have 1, 2, and 3. Excellent. They all should be squeaky clean. All right, so then I want to go ahead and take this controller here. I'll rename that one middle finger con 3, finger con 2. And that one should already be middle finger con 1. Okay, so we'll just kind of sandwich those offset groups inside of each other, inside of underneath their parent controller. And then that offset group is going to go under middle finger on 1. There we go. So we have 1, 2, and 3. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and grab that index finger 1. Up, 2, 3. This one is going to be the second one, so it's going to be top 2. And then nest it underneath there. So you have 3, 1, 2, or 2 and 3. And then we'll take this one. Now, all right, so we got all those. And then here we go. So we got thumbs. Thumb con 1 right there. Thumb con 2. Thumb con 2. Thumb con 3. Okay. So just nest these under each one of their parents. Okay. So this one should rotate all these. And then if we take all these, we should be able to kind of close the thumb up a little bit. Okay. The same thing, we'll take each one of these controllers, should be able to rotate each one of those controls inwards like a finger. Okay. Left, I'm going to rename this group. Left finger con group. Excellent. Left finger con group. And I'm going to give that one a pivot point of the null joint right here. Okay. You would duplicate, I'm sorry, not, group it to itself, and then duplicate special. So then we get it on the other side, right there. And then that going to go under search and replace, look for left, replace with right, Y. Let's make sure everything just reads right down the side of that. Okay, so we got a right finger con group, left finger con group. All right, I think that's enough controllers for now. And then what we would like is for the left finger con group to follow the null joint. And we've already got a group that's going to allow for that, the left ikfk switch con group. So what I'm going to do is take the left finger con group, and I'm just going to drop it under the left ikfk switch con group because I need it to follow both sets of hands. So the right finger con group is going to go under the right ikfk switch con group. So then if I rotate that, you'll see that it sticks with the fingers or sticks with the hand. And then if we're going to do constraints, we're going to do orient and offset. So grab the controller joint, apply, and then just go all the way down the chain. So grab the controller, grab the joint, hit G, G, G. We're just kind of connecting each one of these to their respective joint. Okay, you go on the other side, so do the same thing. Just hitting G this whole time. That's all I'm doing, just reusing that last use tool. Okay, let's test this out, see how this works. Rotate, good. This one. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. Another thing is I'm going to be looking at is I'll be moving the arm, making sure that the fingers stay with the hand. When I rotate the hand, that the fingers don't like twist off and like stay pointing in one direction versus another. So we gotta make sure that all stays together. Okay. Um, I'm gonna take both these, put these together. This is gonna be the IK arms con group. And then we'll take IKFB switch con group. That's going to include both switches and the IK arm con group. And we'll need to make sure, kind of similar to the feet, I'm going to put them under the placement controller. I'm going to group these together, and that's going to be the arms IK handle group. So we'll take the switch con group, put them under the placement. Let's test and make sure this actually works fine. Okay, good. The arms, we're going to go ahead and hold these together at the FK arm con group. That is going to go under the top spine control. So that's going to be neck con, this one right here. Okay, spine con 4. So that's going to be, we've already FK arm con group, shift spine con 4, and P. So that's going to go under, just directly under that top spine con. Okay, so that should go with it. Okay, controller stick with it. Good. But if I move the placement controller, everything moves, kind of like feet. I move the root controller, IK handles, you can see here they stick in one place. So that's good. That's what I'm looking for, because when we switch this over to IK, I grab the root. We want the hands to stick in the same place, kind of like the feet do. Okay, kind of like Pinocchio. All right. All right. I think that's it. Anything else? I have an IK arm handle group, so let's go ahead and make sure, just double check our cleanliness here. So con group, ribbon spine group, IK arm handle group. I'm gonna take the ribbon spine group and the IK arm handle group. I'm gonna group them together. I'm just gonna call it miscellaneous group and drop that under the Louise group. So it's gonna be, again, everything's just gonna go together, okay? So I should be able to collapse everything. I just have one group for the entire character. And that's good. That's what I want. All right, click save. And we're done. Make sure you test it before you turn it in. Please test it before you turn it in.